Hey there, I'm going to show you how to navigate Campus Wire, especially for your first day of classes. So, first thing I would say to want to know how to do is how to join your classes. So, we're going to come over here on the left hand side of Campus Wire and click the Calendar tab. Now, once we've clicked this, you're going to have a lot of events that come up. These ones, this is a tester account, so it's going to have a million, events come up. So even when you come into your week next week, you would toggle to the start date of the week, right? So this is next week, right? This is the first day of the term, July 6th. So you might see less events than this, but maybe too many to know which ones are optional and which ones do you need to go to. So I say first things first. Let's go only showing the mandatory classes. So we're going to unclick optional. Now, all of these events, again, these are more than what you will have, are going to be classes that you need to go into. Mandatory is only going to show you your classes because those are the only events in all of Campus Wire that are mandatory, okay? So let's say you have your Introduction to Business lecture and you see like maybe it's coming on time, assuming that that's the time of day that we're on. So again, kind of going back to today to show you what I mean. If you go today, we see, hey, this is highlighted. So this is today. And this red line is what time it is right now. So in my time zone, we're at 1 p.m. So I might be able to say, hey, this one's coming up at 1:30, and we can see that by where the red line is. So coming back, we're going to go to first day of class. This is what you'll want to do. It'll load. And then whenever you have your class come up, that red line is moving right in front of your first class. Let's say it's Introduction to Business lecture here. All you would do is click the event. You'll be able to see what type of event it is. It's a lecture. All lecture sessions, by the way, are held by your professor, and they're all going to be in the hashtag auditorium. This is a link, right? This is exactly where you'll go to join the class. So if you click on it, I'm just going to say don't allow for this website. You'll come here. This is my profile picture for the student. So this is my profile picture from my fake student. My fake student's name is Mickey Mouse, but disregard that. So you'll come to the auditorium, which you'll be able to also see that you are in the hashtag auditorium for your Introduction to Business class, just like the calendar said. And we're going to say join with video. You'll be able to see the preview of your video here. So you'll see yourself and you'll press join with video. So that's the first thing to note is that you can go again to the calendar, go to any class or any session really, and be able to join with the hashtag link that's there, okay? Last thing I do want to point out, lectures will happen in your auditorium. I'm going to go back to the first week and just the mandatory ones are what I want to see. So this is a lecture, right? If you have a discussion section, it's still the same class, Introduction to Business. It's just a discussion section. This is still mandatory. It is still a class session. The only difference between a lecture and a discussion is who hosts it. Professors will host 2 lecture sessions a week for certain classes, right? And Keith is a TA, a teacher's assistant for this Introduction to Business class. So this is Keith's auditorium. Let me click it. I'm just going to not share my screen. And see, now we're in Keith's auditorium, still in Introduction to Business. So when in doubt, I say first week especially, just go to your calendar tab and join a class from that link. I do think that is the easiest way to find it. But let's say we're logging in, we're on our home screen. Let's say you just want to go to where your class assignments are. It's going to be right here on the left. You have your home, you have your calendar, but below that you have your classes. You might have some classes hidden, so you might have to click more. You see where I clicked more to reveal the rest of the classes that I have, but we're going to go ahead and click into Introduction to Business, keeping with that theme. So now that I've clicked it and it's highlighted in that light purple, we know that we're in the class, and we can also see we are in Introduction to Business. Okay, so what you'll want to notice is that there are different tabs all up here. So it'll automatically bring you to the tab class feed. It's highlighted in that light purple. And these are going to be all posts, looks like, by this gentleman. Let's see who it is. So if we click in, okay, so we see that this is Maxwell, your instructor. Okay, it's kind of similar to Facebook in that you have who posted it at the top. When they posted it, it looks like this one was edited for whatever reason, right? All that will be at the top. Then it's going to have a lot of information that your professor might want you to know. This looks like it's the syllabus and faculty TA, teaching assistant info. All that fun stuff is here. And there's a comment section at the bottom, again, similar to social media. Let's say you have a question for the person who posted this, Maxwell A. Gray, your professor. So you might say, hi, or whatever your question might be. And then you can press Shift 2 or put the @ symbol, like you would write @Gmail, an @ symbol, and you can tag people. So if I start to type his name, if I spell it correctly, he might come up. So whenever I write my question and I also tag him, he'll get a notification that he's been mentioned on a post, so he might be more likely to see it. You can tag your TA as well. So if you have a question you want to see if anybody can answer, you might tag Maxwell, and finding out who your TA is. There's a few different TAs per class session, right? You can tell who your TA is by looking at that calendar discussion. You might also copy this, right? Copy okay, and then it'll start to pull her up. Okay, so you could tag a TA and professor in a comment section, and that way one of them could answer when they're tagged, or another classmate, let's say Heaven here, might see your question and be able to answer it, and so they might come over here to reply, and you'll get an answer from a student. So I think that it's helpful to post in the comment section. So if it's something that you feel like anybody can answer. Another option, if you click on your professor's profile picture, you can click direct message. This will take you to, your DM section, and you'll be able to write Maxwell Gray a direct message to ask him a question about anything, right? It's helpful to know who posted the post so you know who might have the most information. Last thing I'll show you here on this class feed is the syllabus. A lot of professors have shifted to putting the link to their syllabus in the class feed tab. I think it's great to look at the syllabus. I'm going to click it. It's going to open a PDF on the new tab. I often will have students download this document. It's week over week, like what you'll be handling in that class, what resources you might need to complete assignments. And so we know that week 9, we're talking about these topics, and we're going to have a quiz due. We're going to have a discussion topic that we have to complete. And this one happens to also have a paper that's due. This is a busy week, week 9. And you might need to read chapter 11 of your textbook, things like that, helpful links that you might need, right? So a syllabus is going to include all this kind of breakdown, including, what the course is about, so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to click out of this. And so this is something you'll find in the class feed post. This, class also has a textbook. So you click it, it opens the textbook. I have people save this too. If they ever need to find, where their business textbook is, they can look at it. You could, in theory, download a PDF of the entire textbook. I don't know that that's really the best way to do it. You could also buy a physical copy if you really wanted to, but you'll be able to look through the textbook. So, whatever chapter we're on, let's see, chapter 2, and we're like, okay, let's read 2:1. That would be an option for you to go. Just get rid of this. And this is the chapter, right? Okay, so going back, clicking out of this, clicking out of the textbook. Last thing I'll show you, most classes will also have one more post. They're all pinned, so they're right at the top, so you'll be able to find them usually, is the late assignment policy. So looking at this, we'll be able to say, hey, the goal, of course, is to not turn anything in late, but if you do, you want to know if you can still get credit for it and how quickly you might need to do it to get it. So let's say I've just missed an assignment by 1 day, but I see in my late assignment policy that if I submit it within 7 days of the due date, up to 7 days late, another way to say that, you will only get 10 percentage points off of whatever you earn. The max grade that you can earn is a 90. Let's say you earn a 70% for your work, you'll get a 60, right? So we're just going to take 10% off if it's within 7 days late. It's between 7 and 14 days, so the 2-week mark. They'll take 30% off max grade you can earn, then becomes a 70, right? And then it adds assignments submitted more than 14 days late may not be accepted. Final acceptance, is to the discretion of the instructor and teaching assistant. So if you have an issue or a question about what might give me an extension, whether it's an emergency or, anything like that, feel free to ask me. You can make even a DM between you, me, and your professor. That's always an option as well. This one is important. Quizzes and exams cannot be turned in late or retaken. Okay, this is like a case-by-case basis if they will give an exception, but they usually don't, just because it might leave room for someone to be able to cheat, okay? So this is like an example of a late assignment policy, which might look similar to your other classes, but it might look different as well. So it's good to just know what it is for that specific class. This is this one for Introduction to Business for this professor. Keeping in mind that you might have another classmate that you befriend in your English class, and they might say, oh, my business assignment is due whatever day. But if they don't have the same professor, their due dates might be slightly different. So always opt to check Campus Wire for whatever your due dates may be, okay? Rooms, this is kind of where we joined classes before. This is another way that you can join classes, okay? Simple enough. We've got our assignments. This is all the work that's upcoming for this class. So, even the beginning of, the term, you have a syllabus and book quiz. Now you know where to find the syllabus and books so you can take it, right? You'll notice a few things here. This is due on July 10th at 11:30 p.m. Depending on what time zone you are in, it's going to be super important to know what time something is due. I'll have a student say, okay, well, my assignment's due on July 10th. But if we look together and see that it's due at 3 a.m. in their time zone on July 10th for that student, it might be better for them to turn it in on July 9th. So, all that to say, this is kind of an overview. Of course, you can click into assignments, get more information on what you need to do. This assignment isn't open yet, just meaning that you can't turn it in. But of course, you can look at the instructions. This is a link to the instruction, okay? So it'll kind of break it down even into more, sections. But it's kind of straightforward, right? So we're just working line by line, section by section. Of course, keeping in mind always the due dates, okay? You might not want to work too far ahead, just so you don't miss important instructions for assignments in that class. But otherwise, you're okay to work a little bit ahead, just because I think it helps you, not get behind and feel a little bit more confident and have a little bit more of a cushion for yourself. Grades, you'll see how you did on an assignment. You can also get, at a certain point, if you were having something turned in, you will be able to scroll down and see written below what would be here. Nothing's turned in here, so you can't see it yet. But some feedback, so whatever your grade is, as well as why they gave you that grade, that'll be written out for you. Okay, so these are the things that you might need to know for how to get into your class, how to access your assignments, keeping in mind that your assignments, they might have some due for different classes, even on week 1. So don't let that catch you by surprise. If you have any questions as you continue to navigate week 1, I am here, so just let me know. There's plenty of other things I'd love to show you, even tech-wise, on the home page and so on and so forth. As far as being able to maybe go to the board view and see what assignments you have coming up, if there's anything overdue. Of course, again, this is all a sample student, so none of this is really anything, right? But there's so many things I would love to show you and help you learn about so that you can navigate your classes. Definitely always, you can schedule a time to meet with me. I'm always down to help you guys out, especially for one of your first classes. It's going to be Purpose-Driven Life. One of your class grades is to meet with me. So it's kind of a two birds with one stone situation. So should you have more questions after watching this video, please do let me know. I'm going to probably give just a few bullet points outside of this video, just so that you can kind of at a glance know what we talked about. But feel free to follow up in a DM, a text with any questions you might have, especially before we start classes next week. Thanks.